From ABC News, this is a Vote 2006 update.
Good evening. I'm Charles Gibson at ABC News election headquarters in New York. It is now just a few seconds after 9 o'clock on the East Coast, and polls in 40 states now, as well as the District of Columbia, have closed. And as I will often tonight, I want to begin by reminding you of a key number, 6, the number of seats the Democrats will need to gain in order to take control of the Senate. And we are now ready to project that in the state of Ohio, Sherrod Brown has defeated Mike DeWine. Mike DeWine has served in the Senate for 12 years, but it has not been a good year in Ohio to run as a Republican. And Sherrod Brown, who has served 7 terms in the House of Representatives, has been elected, and that is a switch Republican to Democrat. Pennsylvania, we can project that Bob Casey has defeated Rick Santorum, the Republican. This is also a switch. Santorum is the 3rd-ranking Republican in the Senate. He has been defeated by Bob Casey, the son of the very popular former governor. Casey will be the next senator from the state of Pennsylvania. That gives the Democrats a pickup of 2. In the state of New Jersey, a state that the Democrats have to defend, even though the raw vote total, with just 14% of the precincts reporting, shows Tom Kean in the lead, we are projecting that Bob Menendez, appointed to this seat by Governor John Corzine, will hold the seat for the Democrats. And in New York, no surprise, Hillary Clinton has been elected senator from the state of New York, giving the Democrats, as we said, a pickup of 2. And in the House, things also looking very good for the Democrats. That's where things stand right now. You can stay tuned for a 90-minute election special at 9:30 Eastern, but for many of you in the West, World News continues. I'm Charles Gibson.
From ABC News, this has been a Vote 2006 update.
From ABC News election headquarters, this is World News with Charles Gibson.
And we welcome you back. We're juggling time zones here between World News and special election reports on the entire network. And so this is World News. We're picking up in the show, and we already showed you that the Democrats have had a net gain now so far of 2 seats in the Senate. There's a couple of other Senate races that I want to show you that have been very closely watched. First, in the state of Virginia, and we do have significant results in the state of Virginia. 65% of the precincts are reporting George Allen, the incumbent there, with a very narrow lead of 6,000 votes over Jim Webb, the Democrat. Democrats are still very hopeful about this race. 35% of the votes still to be counted. And in Tennessee, we can't yet project this one, but Bob Corker and Harold Ford Jr., Ford trying to be the first African-American to be elected to the Senate from the South since the Reconstruction. It looks like Bob Corker has a very significant lead there, but just 9% of the precincts reporting, and this one is not yet ready for a projection. George Stephanopoulos?
Charlie, we're going to have to keep an eye on Virginia all night long. If you look at that race, Jim Webb versus George Allen, the Democrats are not going to be able to pick up the Senate unless Jim Webb wins that race in Virginia. The other significant thing I saw, what you just pointed out, we have to focus on Ohio just a bit. 4 years ago, Ohio gave the presidency to George W. Bush. Tonight, Republicans are being rejected in Ohio. The Republican governor, Bob Taft, retiring. Ted Strickland, the Democrat, came in. He's the new governor of Ohio. We just saw Sherrod Brown defeating the incumbent, Mike DeWine. Even though Mike DeWine, over the last year, had started to move away from the president, Ohio's had a tough economy this year, and like everywhere else, they're very sour on the war.
George, we have one more projection that we can make in the Senate right now, and that is in the state of Connecticut. You'll recall there Joe Lieberman is the incumbent Democrat, ran in the primary and lost to Ned Lamont, basically over the issue of the war. Lieberman, a Democrat, had voted in favor of the war, supported the president on the war. Lamont beat him in the August primary, 52-48, but Lieberman decided he would run as an independent, and on the basis of just a few votes, but key precincts and the exit polls, we can project that Joe Lieberman is going to be elected as an independent in the state of Connecticut. He will caucus with the Democrats. And so actually, we've already projected Bernie Sanders winning a Senate seat in Vermont. There'll actually be 2 independents caucusing with the Democrats.
The 2 poles of the Democratic Party, the 2 poles of the Independent Party. You can't be as far apart on issues and still be in the same party as Bernie Sanders and Joe Lieberman. Joe Lieberman also bucking a trend tonight. We've seen all night long the war in Iraq is a huge issue. Joe Lieberman, probably the most pro-war Democrat in the Senate, but he was able to put together a coalition of Democrats, independents, and a lot of Republicans in the state of Connecticut.
Yes, there was basically the Republican, Alan Schlesinger, was a non-factor in this race, and many Republicans actually turned around and voted for Lieberman. So Lieberman wins with Republican support, but will caucus with the Democrats.
But the White House made a key decision here. The White House and the Republican Party decided really not to back their candidate, Alan Schlesinger. They preferred to have the message, the pro-war message coming from Joe Lieberman, rather than the seat, which they really didn't think they had a good chance at anyway.
So we now stand with 2 pickups for the Democratic Party in the Senate in the states of Ohio and Pennsylvania. Those were races, really, George, that we expected would go from Republican to Democrat.
Absolutely. All year long, Ohio and Pennsylvania have been prime targets of the Democrats, both in the House and the Senate. No surprises there. No real surprise yet. We have to keep an eye on Virginia, Missouri, Rhode Island.
All right, some House races we want to talk about, illustrative House races here. One call we have already made. We have to mention that the Republicans are defending, if they lose 15 seats to the Democrats will gain control of the House. And we've already made one projection. That is in the 8th District of Indiana, where Brad Ellsworth is going to defeat John Hostetler. Hostetler has served 6 terms in the House, but he's always vulnerable. This is a district that has always voted very close in southern Indiana. And Brad Ellsworth, who, as I say, is a sheriff in Vandenberg County, is going to be elected there. That is net 1 for the Democrats in the House. But there's a couple of other races. You mentioned this race, George, in the 3rd District of Kentucky. Ann Northrup, the incumbent, 5 terms, but she always has tight races. And she has been very independent on the war, calling for Don Rumsfeld to resign. John Yarmouth is a newspaper editor there, has tried to tie her to Bush, and this is a race everybody's watching closely.
Oh, no question about it, Charlie. If Northup loses there, that is a huge blow to the Republican Party. The chairman of the Republican Congressional Campaign Committee told me 2 months ago that's the race he's going to be watching early in the night. If Ann Northup loses, we are going to lose the House. Right now, she's behind.
And I want to go back, if I could, to that board of Northup and Yarmouth, if you still have that, because I think it's very illustrative here. We now have 96% of the precincts reporting, and Yarmouth has a 7,000 vote lead. So that one that could be could cause major jubilation in the Democratic Party if they win that. And one other race I want to mention, this is in the state of New Hampshire. Charlie Bass, 6 terms in the House, and it would appear that he's going down to defeat tonight to Paul Hodes, I should say. Paul Hodes is an attorney in that district, and he's been beating up on Bass on the issue of Iraq.
Beating up on Bass all through the Northeast. President Bush and the war in Iraq are very unpopular, Charlie. The Republicans were hoping to hold on to that seat. Charlie Bass is a good politician, but in the last couple of weeks, they started to see that one slip away.
All right. One of the things that obviously has been on everybody's mind has been, is my vote going to be counted? We've had a lot of people out watching polling places, watching how these new machines that everybody's using are being employed and whether they're giving a fair count on the vote. Jake Tapper is out in Ohio, has been following this. We'll be following it all night. Jake?
Charlie, there were some voting problems today, but no apparent catastrophes, as one election expert put it to us. There were some fender benders, but no major tie-ups. Jen Nelson of Columbus, Ohio, found the time to vote after a 5-mile run.
These machines were really great.
But not every polling place ran as well as she did.
This is Tina calling. Hi, we need a technician out to Grove City 3E.
Electronic voting machines in Ohio and elsewhere malfunctioned. In Cleveland, glitches forced voters to go back to paper ballots. Machine problems in Democratic precincts in Tennessee clearly worried the Democratic Senate candidate.
The polling machines, or should say the Diebold machines, are not working.
In Indianapolis, thousands of voters were prevented from casting their ballots because of technical glitches and poll workers who didn't know how to operate the new machines. Long lines in Denver were caused by power failures. Democrats said they would sue to keep polling stations open late. Long lines in the rain in the Cincinnati suburb Loveland. That's where Ohio Republican Congresswoman Jean Schmidt was the first to vote, but was the first of many to have trouble with the machine meant to scan her ballot.
Turn ballot over and try again.
Which was set aside with others to be scanned later. Schmidt wasn't the only politician who had troubles today. South Carolina Governor Mark Sanford got tripped up by his state's voter identification requirements. He showed up to vote without the proper ID and had to go back to the governor's mansion to get it. That was also a problem for Ohio Congressman Steve Chabot, who said being turned away showed that poll workers were doing their jobs. but not everyone agrees.
I think the poll workers are ill-prepared. They are uncertain what kind of ID is necessary.
Most of the 1.2 million poll workers nationwide are volunteers. Their average age, 72.
We had an election official in Illinois who said the average age of her poll workers was deceased.
That's an overstatement. Of course, Charlie, most election workers seem to have done a pretty good job. After all, it's no small thing to have 80 million people vote.
Jake, there's a couple of things that occur to me. With this electronic voting, you would think that simply since you have to send totals by computer to the state secretaries of state's office, that the vote would be reported faster than normal, and yet I don't see it coming in tonight with any abnormal speed.
Well, that's because, first of all, a lot of these machines are malfunctioning. There are several precincts here in Ohio that are being kept open past the 7:30 deadline until 9 o'clock. And also, of course, there are legions of lawyers spread throughout the country making sure that everything for their party is on the upright. And so that's one of the reasons for the major delays.
All right, Jake Tapper, thanks very much. We'll be checking you through the night, and we are going to be here through the night and into the early morning until we have determined control of the House and the Senate. And our special election coverage begins at 9:30 Eastern Time. Now, still ahead on this broadcast, the chilling new Al-Qaeda tape. The terrorists casing U.S. targets for attacks after 9/11, planning carnage on a colossal scale. Record flooding in the Northwest, so many people stranded, and more misery is on the way. And an early warning. Here come the presidential candidates. Why do they have to start the 2008 race so soon?
This is World News with Charles Gibson, brought to you by Walmart.
I used to think that Veterans Day was a day to get out of school. Then my uncle went to serve overseas. Even though he was gone forever, he came home safe. When he wears his uniform, people smile or shake his hand. I guess when you're a veteran, you're a hero. I know he's mine.
We all know someone who has served our country. Today and every day, we say thank you to all our veterans.
This pain and itching and burning is ruining my night. I should have used
Preparation H Cream relieves burning, itching, plus maximum strength pain relief on contact. Nighttime's the right time, too. For Preparation H, pain relief on contact.
Now you see me? Now you don't. Now you see me? Now you don't. What you are seeing is how much farther, wider, and better you'll see with new Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania. Because the next time you see me, I may not be alone. See farther, see wider, see better. New Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
Ask your doctor about controlled release formula Ambien CR. Then call today for a 7-day free trial offer. It's the only sleep aid with 2 layers to help treat both types of sleep problems. One dissolves quickly to help you fall asleep fast. The other dissolves slowly to help you stay asleep. Ambien CR is a treatment option you and your doctor can consider along with lifestyle changes and can be taken for as long as your doctor recommends. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic. However, like most sleep medicines, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. A good night's sleep shouldn't be an on-off thing. So call today for your 7-day free trial offer of the latest Ambien, Ambien CR. And don't forget the CR.
Science suggests vitamin D is a key to calcium absorption, which helps keep bones strong. New improved Caltrate has more vitamin D. Keep your bones strong to keep your body strong. New Caltrate, the key to strong bones.
For the first time since the fall of Baghdad, the government of Iraq is charging Iraqi police with torture. The Interior Ministry has charged 57 of its employees, including a police general, with torturing hundreds of detainees at a Baghdad prison. Also today, the U.S. military announced an American soldier has been killed by a roadside bomb in Baghdad. That brings the death toll for the first week of November to 19. In a London courtroom today, chilling evidence of Al-Qaeda plans to attack U.S. targets was made public for the first time. at the sentencing of one of the conspirators. High-profile American targets were in the crosshairs, part of what was supposed to be a second wave of post-9/11 terror designed to inflict mass casualties. Here's our chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross.
The surveillance tape centering on New York's Wall Street area was made by an al-Qaeda operative posing as a tourist from London 5 months before the 9/11 attacks. He focuses on entrances to the New York Stock Exchange, identifying security cameras and guards. At a nearby home for the elderly, the camera zooms in on a Star of David. At one point, the camera is put on its side, apparently simulating what would happen if a plane flew into the World Trade Center towers, complete with sound effects. The man authorities say made the tape and was planning the attacks is a 34-year-old British citizen of Indian descent, Dhiran Bairat, sentenced today in London to a minimum of 40 years in prison.
The case is that he could easily have caused hundreds, if not thousands, of deaths. That is the way it was put to the court and has been accepted by the judge.
Security on Wall Street has vastly improved since the tape was made, but still, it was upsetting to some who watched it outside the stock exchange today.
It makes me feel nervous. I'm actually nervous. I don't feel comfortable with it at all.
Bairat also prepared elaborate blueprints for attacks on other possible targets, including the headquarters of Citicorp in New York City, which he thought he might be able to bring down using gasoline tanker trucks. Quote, recommendation, hijacking petrol oil tankers and steering in. Of another Citicorp skyscraper, a glass tower, he noted the devastating effects of a bomb. Quote, each piece of glass becomes a potential flying piece of cutthroat shrapnel. Bairat also concluded he could avoid scrutiny by using stretched limousines, preferably black, not white, and filling them with explosives or gas cylinders, all part of, quote, a synchronized, concurrent, back-to-back execution on the same day and time. Authorities found other surveillance reports on financial locations in Newark, New Jersey, and Washington, D.C. But in the end, Bairat apparently decided security was too tight in the U.S., and his plan when he was arrested by Scotland Yard was to attack subways and buildings in London, Charlie.
Our chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross. Thank you. Up next, the record flooding, causing chaos in the Northwest, and the forecast making a lot of people worried.
Here's some great health news from Smart Balance. New delicious Smart Balance Omega Foods. Omega Plus buttery spread with natural plant sterols and omega-3 from the sea. Smart Balance peanut butter with 1,000 milligrams of omega-3s per serving. Omega Plus light mayonnaise and omega cooking oil. They give you more omega-3s with no hydrogenation and no trans fat naturally. Smart Balance Omega Foods. So important, and you're gonna love them.
Someone you love may be a numismatist. It's true, millions collect coins. It's the rush they get collecting something worthwhile. But they need your help. Give them genuine coins from the United States Mint. Polished, radiant, irresistible. Your gift will make a difference for generations to come. Visit usmint.gov. United States Mint. Genuinely worthwhile.
When mucus causes chest congestion and coughing, it can be a late night.
Here's mucus. We'll be up all night. And now, a word from Mucinex DM. Mucinex DM!
Mucinex DM breaks up mucus and quiets coughing.
Uh-oh. We're off the air!
And Mucinex DM lasts for 12 hours.
I need a new gig.
Mucinex in, mucus out.
Maud, cows are out.
I found him.
Things are easier to find when they're stuck together. Gladware interlocking lids lock together so you always know where they are. For lids that are easy to find, get Gladware interlocking lids. And for more food storage needs, get Glad food bags.
I couldn't quite believe it. One little pill a day helped my heartburn go away. The problem was it came back. It broke through, especially at night. Then I found this, Mylanta Ultimate Strength. It's something new for heartburn, even the kind that breaks through. Mylanta's really fast, and my doctor said I could take it even though I'm on a daily medicine.
When heartburn breaks through, try new Mylanta Ultimate Strength. Look for our coupon in this Sunday's paper.
Vote 2006. Red, blue, Republican, Democrat. Stay the course. Get the troops out. Gas prices, taxes, healthcare, values. What will tonight's results mean for you? Tomorrow, for answers, turn to the best political team in America on World News with Charles Gibson.
An investigation is underway into a runway accident at Chicago's O'Hare Airport today, the fourth runway incident in the past week and a half. The wing of one United Airlines jet clipped the tail of another United plane as both taxied for takeoff. The National Transportation Safety Board is already looking into 3 other recent runway incidents. The National Guard has been called out in the Pacific Northwest tonight to help deal with record flooding caused by days of heavy rain. The hardest hit areas of Washington State and Oregon have been pounded by 10 inches of rain, triggering mudslides, closing roads, and forcing evacuations, and it's not over yet. ABC's Neil Karlinski is in Snohomish, Washington.
The rain started 4 days ago and hasn't stopped. A solid, steady downpour, the likes of which even people in this rain-prone part of the world have never seen.
I'm very surprised. I was here yesterday and it was coming up very rapidly. I didn't expect that at all.
Cities and towns from Washington to Oregon have been drenched as more than a half dozen rivers smash old flood records and continue to rise. Dozens of cars and homes were left deep underwater. Emergency crews are out in force rescuing those left stranded, including a family of 4 lifted from their car by helicopter. Michael Oswalt and his family left their home and moved into a shelter.
I got my wife and 4 kids, so I decided better go. Seems safer, and now they're telling us it's under 4 feet of water.
Entire towns and neighborhoods are cut off, and it's no longer just the floodwaters, but all the debris, tables, pieces of trees, even cars that are now floating down these rivers. Forecasters say the storm is the result of what's called the Pineapple Express, a pattern of warm, wet air blowing in from Hawaii. It's carried with it more than 7.5 inches of rain to the Seattle area already. That's nearly 2 inches more than the normal monthly total this time of year, and more is on the way.
They get a temporary break for the next couple of days, but a large and wet storm system comes into the northwest again late Thursday night and Friday.
With the threat of mudslides and more rain on the horizon, the rain-soaked Pacific Northwest isn't out of the woods yet. Neil Karlinski, ABC News, Snohomish, Washington.
And when we come back, on your mark, get set, 2008. In many ways, the race is already on.
If you have a history of smoking and breathing problems, it could be COPD, which includes chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Discover Spiriva, the only once-daily inhaled maintenance prescription treatment for COPD. Spiriva keeps airways open to help you breathe better for a full 24 hours. And it's not a steroid. Spiriva does not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms. Tell your doctor about your medicines, including eye drops and illnesses like glaucoma, urinary, and prostate problems. These may worsen with Spiriva. The most common side effect is dry mouth. Others include constipation and problems passing urine. If you have vision changes or eye pain, your breathing suddenly worsens, you get hives, or your throat or tongue swells, stop taking Spiriva and contact your doctor. Spiriva is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor. So make a habit of breathing better with Spiriva.
The Hyundai Azera. With 8 airbags, electronic stability control, and a 263 horsepower V6 all-standard, plus more interior space than a BMW 760i. It may be the most car for the money ever. It's no wonder the Hyundai Azera was ranked most appealing large car by J.D. Power and Associates.
Now Promise Buttery Spread helps maintain a healthy heart when eaten instead of butter or margarine. And now it's rich with heart health essentials like omega-3, and it's less in saturated fat. Plus, there's no trans fat and lots of creamy, buttery taste. In fact, it's our healthiest and tastiest buttery spread yet. No wonder hearts are beating louder. Promise Buttery Spread, taking your health to heart.
Last May, Walgreens helped me choose the Medicare prescription plan that best covers my medication. So I told Sue about it.
I went to Walgreens with my prescriptions, and they gave me a free report that made it easy to choose a plan.
We can help you, too. Whether you want to switch plans or you're turning 65, we'll even give you $50 in coupons. Walgreens accepts all major plans, and we're here for all your Medicare needs.
That's why millions of seniors have turned to Walgreens with their Medicare questions.
I'm Steve Dunn. Next, in the Northwest Only All Local newscast from the valley to the mountains, how rescuers saved people trapped by raging floodwaters. Plus, as voters head to the polls, what campaigns are doing to try and get their votes tonight at 6:30.
Finally, the voters will have the last word tonight, but the campaigning will not end. After all the attack ads, political spin, and candidates relentlessly on message, you'd like to think America will get time out from politics. Not a chance. For the 2008 presidential race is getting underway already. Here's ABC's Kate Snow.
Thank you. Early this morning at the train station in Chappaqua, New York, Senator Hillary Clinton was thanking commuters for their support. Support in 2006 and possibly in 2008. Even her closest advisors say they don't know if Senator Clinton will run for president.
I can't make a decision now. I have made no decision. But the signs are there, the $15 million war chest, the staffers, the constant travel.
The race for president unofficially is on and has been for months.
American politics today, the reality is that the campaign for the next presidential cycle begins the day after one is elected.
There are a dozen Democrats who may run.
Day after the election, Democrats are going on a shopping spree. They're looking for a candidate who can take advantage of the new political environment for Democrats.
Potentially 12 Republican candidates could run as well. And maybe even one independent billionaire, most of whom have been crisscrossing the country for months, testing the waters. Just look at Republican frontrunner Senator John McCain's flight plan for the past month, 21 states in 30 days. Democrat John Edwards, who was on the losing ticket last time around, and Republican governor of Massachusetts Mitt Romney topped the list for the number of visits to Iowa, home of the first presidential caucus. And then there are the wild cards. Former Vice President Al Gore keeps saying he can't imagine running, but he's not shutting the door completely.
I don't believe that there's a politician alive that doesn't actually have an interest in being president.
Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani draws huge crowds. So does Illinois Senator Barack Obama, who's taken on rock star status. Those around Obama say he'd have no trouble quickly raising money, but the lesser-known potential candidates will need to act quickly to lock in donors. Strategists on both sides expect a flood of announcements around the new year, the official start to campaign 2008. Kate Snow, ABC News, New York.
That is world news for this election day. We'll be reporting on the midterm elections into the night and into the morning. Stay with ABC News for our special coverage of the 2006 elections. Coming up at 9:30. Nightline will pick up after that, and Good Morning America will have results first thing in the morning. I'm Charlie Gibson. Hope you had a good day, and for all of us at ABC News, have a good day.
Three are set. Tonight, they go big.
Super Mario's at it again.
Or go home. Your vote decides who's heading to the grand finale. Dancing with the Stars. Live tonight, 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
Live at 6:30, K2 News, the spirit of the Northwest.
K2 News covering two big stories tonight. The candidates have had their say. Now the voters speak, choosing a governor in Oregon.
Thank you, sir.
Plus, the heavy rain turns into a flood emergency. It's a rush to rescue people trapped by rising water.
My wife came back, and now she's stuck.
The images as powerful as the storm that created them.
The worst. Like 15 inches higher than 96.
Tonight, a break in the storm, but not before leaving a mess behind. Good evening. Thanks a lot for being with us, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn.
And I'm Deborah Knapp. From the coast to the mountains, the rising floodwaters prove dangerous as rescue crews are sent to save those trapped by rivers. And in Tillamook, it is still quite a mess. That's where Brian Barker is live. And the Wilson River is beginning to recede, but the danger is far from over, Brian.
That's correct, Deb. There are still houses surrounded by water, but 12 hours ago, the area where I'm standing was about waist.
It's Key Home Furnishings' biggest sale of the year. You will save on everything store-wide with incredible 7 to 70% off. And it keeps getting better with over $1 million of quality home furnishings in stock and ready for immediate delivery. It's Key Home Furnishings' biggest sale of the year. Don't miss this sale.
All I want is TV, internet, and phone from a company I trust.
All I want is not to have to watch my cable bill keep going up.
All my calls, my internet, and even my TV for a really low price, that's what I want.
At Verizon, we've got what you want, especially now that you can get everything from us. Phone service you can count on, high-speed internet, and now even TV. All on one bill for one low price. So why be stuck with Comcast?
All I want is 3 services, 1 bill, 0 hassles.
All I want is one company to call for customer service. All I want is a real choice.
Call 1-877-302-5516 for unlimited calling, high-speed internet, and 100% digital quality TV, all for one low price. There's never been a better time to sign up. That's 1-877-302-5516 for the reliable service you can only get from Verizon.
All I want is to kiss cable goodbye.
Phone, broadband, TV, Verizon.
In the Guard, everybody is dependent on each other, and the bonding was just great because it was like you were forming another family. I'm studying business administration at Oregon State University. The Guard helped me pay for my college and my books. The deployment in Iraq changed me as an individual. I matured a little bit more. Wearing the uniform, you wear it proud, and you get so much respect. A lot of people just want to thank you, and to me, that's like a great feeling. Hear the story about how the Guard changed my life at 1-800-GO-GUARD.com.
Go from creation to reality with the Envision 3D line of printers, available at Right Angle Digital Print and Supply in Tigard. Envision 3D printers provide you with convenient, quick, and affordable in-house production of high-quality models, prototypes, and patterns directly from 3D data. You'll communicate your ideas quickly and gain the edge over the competition with actual working models. Transform your ideas into reality. Available at Right Angle 3D, your complete source for all your reprographic solutions.
Whether you're furnishing one item, a complete room, or your entire home, now is the time to save during Key Home Furnishings' biggest sale of the year. With 7 to 70% off, immediate delivery available, this is an incredible sale. Key Home Furnishings' biggest sale of the year. Don't miss it.